Hello friends and welcome. I'm so glad you joined me today because we're going to focus on a topic that can make a remarkable difference in how we look. Facelift makeup techniques for those of us who are over 50. These techniques can not only give us the vision to reimagine ourselves, but also to actually create the magic of makeup transformation. Today's techniques really boil down to a real estate truism coined by Englishman Harold Samuel in 1944. Location, location, location. This truism is applicable because where we apply our makeup really does matter, especially on our mature skin. As beauty expert and author Andrea Q. Robinson once very aptly wrote, "The cheeks we were born with aren't the same cheeks that we see in the mirror once we're over 50. And like a host of other body parts, they tend to move south as our birthdays move north." So where we apply that blush, as well as where we apply a number of other makeup products, can be game-changing. And as Andrea Q. Robinson also said, the right makeup used the right way is the most powerful weapon in our beauty arsenal. Before we launch into today's topic, I want to welcome back all of you who have spent time with me before on this channel, and also welcome those of you who might be visiting this channel for the very first time. If you're interested in learning makeup tips, techniques, and product information that can help you celebrate where you are now and help you look more polished so you can look like you, but better, you've definitely come to the right place. After all, everything gets upgraded regularly. Our phones, our software, and our computers, and occasionally we need an upgrade as well. The mission of this channel is to help those of us over 50 do just that. My name is Elise, and as a professional working makeup artist who specializes in helping those of us over 50 get our glow back, I love sharing with you new videos on this channel each Thursday. So if you enjoy what you see and hear today, I do hope you'll subscribe before you leave. And I thank you so much in advance if you decide to do so. Now, let's get to those facelift makeup techniques that can truly be transformative. On one side of my face, I'll be demonstrating techniques that make our faces look more downturned. And on the other side, I'll demonstrate those techniques which can help our face look more lifted. My goal today is to give you a variety of makeup technique options so you can determine which, if any of them, might work for you and which you might want to try. Before we start with the eyebrows and work our way down the face, I want to first mention how crucial good skincare is if we want to look our best, especially as a preparatory step before applying makeup. Without exfoliated and well moisturized skin, there's only so much that makeup can do. Good skin prep also means that makeup will be easier to apply, which translates into far better looking makeup. All right, now on to eyebrows. We all have experienced or are experiencing the many interesting ways that our eyebrows can change over the years. And if you'd like to learn more about products and techniques that can help our eyebrows look their best now, I have put a link in the description box below under Show More to two videos that I've done which I hope can help. But today we're only going to be talking about brow techniques that don't help lift our face and the brow techniques that do help lift our face. On my left side of my face, I'm now going to demonstrate techniques for eyebrows that don't help give some lift to our face. First, I'm not going to apply eye primer over the lids of this eye. By not applying eye primer, I'm ensuring that the eye area won't look as bright or open and that the eyeshadow I'll be applying won't go on as easily. I'm also going to fill in these brows with a little too much product, which will mean that this eyebrow will look too dark and heavy, which will tend to weigh the face down. And I'm going to use a cream brow pomade to do this because that will give me definitely a deeper look to this brow. The one I'm using is from Maybelline. I actually like this pomade a lot, but I'm just going to apply it in a way that isn't as flattering and doesn't help our brows look as uplifted. Next, I'm going to bring the tail of the brow down too far, which causes the eyes to look more downturned and droopy. Now, the rule of thumb is to put a pencil, a thin pencil, by the side of your nose on the outside part of your eye, and where it ends is where you should bring the brow down to. So I'm going to bring it down further than that. So as you can see, I've brought it quite far down. Then I want to put a matte highlighter color under the arch of the brow to lift it, but instead of putting it only under the arch of the brow, I'm going to apply this light color down lower along the tail of the brow. This lighter highlighter product will make any area it's applied to come forward or stand out. And since I'm going to put this highlight color further down along the brow rather than just under the arch, it's going to emphasize a downward angle rather than a lifted brow. I'm using my Laura Geller French Vanilla, and as you can see, I'm lightening this whole area going downward. That will draw attention to this downward angle. Now let's turn to the other eyes so I can demonstrate ways that we can actually lift our face by lifting our brows. First, I'm going to apply eye primer over the entire eyelid area. This makes the whole lid area appear lighter and brighter and will keep the eyeshadow I'll be applying in place. First, I'm just going to pat over the eyelid area just to remove any excess oil. And then I'm gently going to blend in the eye primer going all the way from my lash line all the way up to my brows. And by the way, this also helps eyeliner stay in place as well as eyeshadow. I think you can see a difference in the brightness between these two eyes. Then I'm going to apply a lighter brow color than the one I applied on the other eye, and I won't fill in the tail of the brow as far down as I did on the left eye. I'm using my Anastasia of Beverly Hills Powder Brow Duo in medium brown, and I'm using the lighter color of the two colors. And I'm not going to bring it quite as far down on the tail. Next, I'm going to add just a slight upward arch to this brow with a brow pencil. And the operative word here is slight, since too much of an arch will make me look like one of those evil Disney characters like Cinderella's stepmother. Adding the upward arch to the brow lifts it and makes the whole eye area look more uplifted. So this is where my arch should naturally be, and I don't have much of a natural arch, so I'm just going to take this ABH Brow Wiz pencil and I'm just going to bring it up slightly. I think you'll be able to see a bit of a difference between these two brows. This one does have a little bit of an arch to it. Next, I'll take my spoolie and brush the brow hairs upward and then apply a clear brow gel to keep the brow hairs going upward, which also helps the brows look more lifted. So I'm just going to brush them up, and just by brushing them, can you see the difference? And then to make sure they stay uplifted, I'm applying a clear brow gel. This one is from Anastasia of Beverly Hills. Now, you can also certainly use a tinted brow gel if you want more color. My brows don't cooperate as well as I'd like with this brow gel, so I soon plan to invest in Benefit's 24-hour brow gel, which I've heard really holds brows in place. And if any of you have used it, please let me know how it's worked for you in the comments section below. Next, I'm going to apply the highlighter color just directly under the arch of the brow and lightly blend it in. And just going under the arch, as you remember on the other eye, I carried it down this way. I can see looking in my mirror the difference this makes, and I hope you can see it as well. The last thing that we can do to our eyebrows to create a more upturned look is to carefully apply a very small amount of concealer to outline right above the top and under the brow to create a crisper, more defined upward angle, and then carefully blend it out so it's not obvious. So I'm taking a very tiny amount of my Fair Beige concealer, and I'm just going over the edge above where I applied my brow pencil. Then I'm going to blend it out. This just delineates the brow a little bit more and makes it look a little bit more perfected. You can do this with any small tipped brush, an angled brush. I'm just using this flat top brush. So I think you can see that this eyebrow just looks a little bit more polished, and it has a little bit more of an arch to it to lift that area. All of these things we've done are very subtle, but it does make a difference. So we've gone ahead and finished the eyebrows, so let's now move on to our eyes. I'm going to start by putting a dark mid-tone color on the lid on my left downturned side. I'm using my Juvia's Place Warrior 2 eyeshadow palette. I'm next going to put a deeper color just into the eye crease on the downturned side of the face, and then I'm going to follow the natural curve of the eye all the way down to the lower lash line. I'm just stamping it on basically. And then I'm going to bring it down the natural contour of the eye. So now I'm blending it in and I'm blending it down rather than upwards. I think you can see how following the eye contour all the way down to the bottom lash line creates a downward look to the eye. Next, I'm going to darken the outer V area on the lid and crease just a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and do some more blending. On the upturned side, I'm going to put a lighter color on the eyelid, as I mentioned earlier, to make the eye look bigger. Once again, I'm using my Laura Geller French Vanilla to do this. Next, I'm going to put a mid-tone color in the crease and slightly above it, and the difference will be that I'll carry it straight across the lid toward my ear rather than follow the eye contour down. I'm starting in the middle and I'm putting it in the crease, carrying it above the crease because I have hooded eyes and I want to be able to see the eyeshadow. Then rather than following the contour of the eye down, I'm going to go straight across. Now I'm applying some mid-tone color in the crease and slightly above it. And now that same color is going to go in the outer third of my eye. So I want to connect those two colors together, but the difference is on this side, the color goes further up toward the brow in that backward 7 shape. Now comes the blending, which is very important because on this side, I'm going to blend the color upward instead of downward as I did on the left eye. So this is all getting blended up. Then I'm going to take a clean brush and just go over the edges. Then I'm going to deepen the outer 1/3 of the lid and the outer crease area on this eye as I did on the left eye, and then blend again. And again, I'm going in the top part of that backward 7 and carrying it down to my lid and making sure that I fill in all of that skin. And then I'll blend upward. For eyeliner on the left eye, I'm going to apply black all the way along the lash line on the upper lid, and then I'll follow the downward curve of the eye as I did with the eyeshadow. Then I'm also going to line all the way across on the lower lash line as well. On the more upturned right side of my face, I'm going to use brown eyeshadow rather than black eyeliner since the brown color is not quite so harsh. But on my right eye, instead of following the upper lash line down, I'm going to carry the eyeshadow upward toward the temple, which will help lift the eye. It's right when I get to this part of the eye, about the middle, that I'm going to start carrying the eyeshadow upward. And it's the outer part where I'm going to really meet the eyeshadow. And I'm going to use my brush to soften the eye look a little bit. Under the right eye, I'm going to use a lighter brown eyeshadow just on the outer 1/3 of the eye. And I want to make sure there are no obvious stop and start points. And at the very end of the right eye bottom lash line, I'm going to go upward following the natural curve of that bottom lash line and just pat the outer end of the line to soften it. So I'm taking a lighter brown color and I'm just going in this outer area, but I'm bringing it upward. And then I'm just going to pat it in so it's softer looking. This just gives a little bit of delineation, and this line also goes upward so it helps lift. Since there's some eyeshadow fallout under both eyes, as I'm sure you can see, I'm going to take a makeup wipe and clean off the fallout, but I'm going to do it differently on the right and the left eye. On the left eye, I'm going to wipe straight across, but on the right eye, I'm going to go in a little bit different motion, as you'll see. So here, I'm just going straight across under my eye, but on this side, on my more upturned side, I'm going to carry the wipe upward toward my temple. What that does is it gets rid of eyeshadow below this line. So that will help keep the eye looking lifted. On the right upturned side, I carried the wipe in the natural upward motion created by the upward line of the bottom lash line. So I think you can see that the shadow comes down lower here, and it doesn't come down as low on this side, which helps give a lift to this eye. Lash curling and mascara comes next. I'm not going to curl the lashes on my left side and will only apply one coat of mascara. On this eye, I'm going to curl my lashes. Then I'm applying my Tarte Lash Primer first. Then I'm waiting just a few seconds and I'm going to apply my mascara. And I think you can see what a difference the lash primer made. Then I'm going to wait just a few seconds for that to dry, and then I'll apply a second coat. I'm next going to use my Clinique Bottom Lash Mascara just on the right eye, since mascara on the bottom lashes makes our eyes look bigger by increasing the entire footprint of the eye area. I'll apply just a touch to the inner section of the eyelashes and a little bit more to the outer part of the lashes. Now I'm going to take just a moment to reapply the corrector and concealer under my eyes since the makeup wipe got rid of most of it, and then I'll be right back. I've previously put on some face primer and my foundation, and now I'm going to add a little bit more of concealer in a little bit different place than you've seen me apply it before. I'm taking a little bit of my lightest concealer, and what I'm doing is I'm bringing it up this way toward my temple, and then I'm just going to pat it in. What that does is just give a subtle lift to the face because your eye is drawn to the lighter light area, and I'm giving that area a bit of a lift. Now this is very subtle, but this upward motion with a slightly lighter concealer also helps give some lift to the face. Contour is next, and I'm going to use Fenty Beauty's Match Stix Matte Contour Skin Stick on both sides, but the key to lifting the face depends on where I apply this product. On the left side, I'm going to apply it below the cheekbone and further down as well, and I will also blend it downward rather than upward. I'll also carry it in closer to my nose than I will on the uplifted side. So I'm applying it under the cheekbone, but I am carrying it down a little bit further and I'm bringing it in closer. When I blend, it's going to be in a downward motion. Now on the right side, I'll go just slightly below the cheekbone and I won't carry it in so close to the nose, and I will blend upward. So just a slight bit here, and then I'm going to blend it upward. On the left side of my forehead, I'll apply the contour further down than I will on the right side. Here I'm going to go down a little bit further, and here I'm just going to keep it right at the top. And I'll apply the contour on the left side further up on my jawline and further down on my right side. So this is going to go further up, and this is going to go down. And then blending, I'm going up. And on this side, I'm going to blend it, but I'm going to carry it a little bit downward onto my chin area. This makes it blend in a little bit more seamlessly. And this side, by blending the contour up, I'm actually creating more darkness on this side of the face, which will not help it look more lifted. Application of our blush is very key since there's no other single piece of makeup that's more useful in creating the illusion of youth than blush when it's applied well. On the left side, I'm going to apply Merit Flush Balm Blush to the apple area of my cheek. I'm going to go too close to the nose and I'm going to blend downward. I love the color of this blush, but this is not going to enhance my bone structure by bringing the blush down like this. Now on the right side, the upturned side, I'm going to lift my face by applying the blush in the middle of my cheekbone and staying a minimum of 2 finger widths away from the nose. And then I'm going to blend the blush upward. So here the blush is going upward. I didn't come in as close to the nose, and I'm going to blend it up. Put a little bit more on just so you can see the difference. Okay, let's take a look at this side where I blended it lower on my face, and then on this side I blended it going up. But it's the next blush step that is really quite different. To make my face look more upturned on the right side, I'm going to tap a little bit of this blush up toward the temple and slightly up over my eye. This not only makes the whole face look a little bit more cohesive, but it also helps lift the face. I won't do this on the left side. So I'm bringing the blush up this way, and then I'm going to put a little bit on my finger, and I'm just going to put a little bit here and curve around just a slight bit. And again, we're just putting a little bit on. Blends the whole color together on the face more effectively, but it also helps lift. So of course you don't want it to look really obvious. This is very subtle. So now let's take a look at the difference between these two sides with the blush application. This side, the blush was brought down lower, and this side, the blush was brought up and brought up around this area. I'm going to put some of the Rare Beauty Positive Light Liquid Luminizer on the back of my hand, then pick it up with my dampened Real Techniques makeup sponge. Next, I'll dot the highlighter on the upper part of my cheekbones. I'll also dot a little of the highlighter above the blush, which is over my eye. And I decided I'm just going to dot it on with my fingers first, and then I'll blend in with my makeup sponge. And then I'm just carrying this up above where the blush was applied. And again, I'm bringing it upward toward the temple, applying a little bit above where I applied the blush. And again, I'm just going to pat it in. Just want it to blend in seamlessly. Just give a touch of more highlight there. And if you want to decrease the amount of glow, tamp it down just a bit. You can always just use your makeup sponge and go back over it. Lips come next, and as we get older, our lips naturally become more downturned. I've done a previous video on how to lift our lips, which I'll link in the description box below. So today, I'll just quickly demonstrate one technique for lifting our lips. What we want to do is use concealer and lip liner to make our bottom lip line on both sides of our lips go up toward our upper lip sooner. So the first step is to apply concealer just to the very top part of the bottom lip line. I'll apply the concealer only on the right side to lift the right side of my lips. I'm going to use my Clinique Even Better Concealer, and I put a little bit on a Q-tip, and I'm just going to dab that upper lip line on the right side. So basically I just blanked out the upper part of my bottom lip on that right side. Then I'll take my L'Oreal Age Perfect Lip Liner and bring it up before I reach my natural lip line. And rather than go up to the edge, I will bring it up earlier. On the left side, I won't use the concealer, and rather than bringing the lip liner up sooner, I'll just follow the natural lip line. So I think already you can see what a difference that makes. Here's where I brought it up along my natural lip line, and here's the side where I lifted it up sooner. Then I went ahead and I filled in my lips a little bit with a lip liner, and now I'm going to apply my lipstick and gloss. I'll finish off the look today with my usual final step in my makeup routine, which is the application of my Hourglass Ambient Light Powder, Blush, and Bronzer. On this side, I'm bringing the bronzer down lower, and on this side, I'm just lifting it up on this very outer part. The blush, I'm bringing it down lower onto the apples of my cheeks, and on this side, I'm bringing it up higher and curving it around to lift it. Then, as I always do, I'm just going to go over everything with my makeup sponge so it blends in. We've finished, so let's take a final look at both sides of my face. First, here's the left side where I didn't use any face lifting techniques. Now let's take a look at the right side of my face where I did use a number of face lifting techniques. The right side definitely looks more lifted and just plain better. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if so, please give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend who might also find it helpful. And I hope in the comment section below you'll also let me know which of these techniques you might be most open to trying. Until next Thursday, please stay safe, and I wish you good health and happiness and hope you have an absolutely fabulous rest of your day. Take care.